It's Wednesday. Welcome to the Backyard Blitz. I'm Brandon Peebler. Follow me on Twitter at the Peebs22. We got Coach Andrew Daly in the house. Follow him at Coach
Daly 12.
Oh, Coach Daly 12. Oh man, it's following it right there. We're starting off really great. And then we got Coach Rick in the house. Follow him at R Simmons 2715 on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button up there. Follow our YouTube channel. Boys, what's going on, man? It's Wednesday. We got week 2 to talk about. There's a lot of big stuff going on.
Yo, what up, fellas? Yes, we had another great weekend of football, and I just want to apologize to everybody out there in advance. I'm fighting a little illness tonight, so if I come across a little hoarse, I went to the doctor today. For HIPAA laws, let's just say Dr. Quack, all right? He said, Coach Drew, I can't let you go on tonight. You got 111-degree fever. You got more runs than the Boston Marathon, all right? We can't let you go on tonight. I said, Dr. Quack, watch your tone, buddy, because I got fans and I got a show to do, and that's what I'm doing tonight. And I'm bringing it for you guys, all right? Thank you.
Oh my God. Hey, we're picking up right where we left off with that hot shot of the week to yourself, man. I watched that back. Slick almost spit out his drink. He wasn't even ready for that. I wasn't ready for it either. That was awesome, man.
That was great.
Slick, you had an awesome game on Friday for your high school, Sarasota High. Came up with a big win against a rival school, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Like you said, it was rival school, Manatee County versus Sarasota County. The program that I'm at, I don't think they've been a winning program, and it's been over a decade. So the fact that we were able to get that victory, that was big for the program, for the kids, the coaching staff, just the county in general.
That's awesome. What was the score? So I know it was a low scoring game. Was it like 16-7?
Yeah, it ended up being 16-7.
You mentioned that you lost your voice. I'm glad that it's back for today.
Yeah. It was a lot of hollering going on. That was a game that I wanted bad because I'm from Manatee County, so like a lot of those guys, kids, coaching staff, I know them personally, so I wanted that game. That was more of a personal game. Yeah,
it meant something to you. That's good, man. That's good.
What about you? I know everybody knows you had a big trip this weekend. How did it go?
It was awesome. It was such a cool trip, man. I'm lucky I'm just getting my voice back because I did a lot of hollering. Matter of fact, I got to give a shout out to a few people. Clinton Carey Parker, you guys are amazing. We met them a few years ago in 2019 at a 49er takeover party. These people have become family to us. We coordinate our trips with them. We met them down there. Amanda, this lady, we ran into her in the 49er store, and she had this blinged out 49er hat, and Kimberly wanted it bad. And so she went over to her and she's like, where did you get that hat? And she makes them. She's in your neck of the woods, Drew. She's in Newark, New Jersey. And she went all the way out there for a game. She was out there by herself. We met her at a tailgate. We actually ran into her again at the tailgate, kind of swapped information. Her and Kimberly are now best buds. So I got to give a shout out to her, man. But it was awesome. Berlin was hollering the entire game, asking me what the score was. She had a great time. We got some great pictures. And of course we came up with the win. So it was an awesome weekend.
We'll talk about that later, man. And if you got young kids, man, it's tough you never know what you're going to get when you go to a sporting event. Like my buddy just took his kid to the first, to his first Phillies game. And he said he made it 4 innings, and that was 2 more than he thought he was going to get. So you never know what you're going to get, man, with your kids, and when you take them to whether it's a sporting event or the movies or whatever it might be. So Disney on Ice, even though you're spending hundreds of dollars on tickets, but that's besides the point.
And it was her birthday trip too. So we had done all these things. Like we went on this little cruise to go to like the Golden Gate Bridge, and to kind of get her on the water and all this stuff.
House or what, dude?
We didn't see that. We didn't go quite down that far.
Alcatraz.
We saw Alcatraz. We were right there. We saw a shark eat a bird, like right out of the water, like right next to us. I was like, what? I'm not getting in there.
Foreshadowing for what was about to happen during the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. But It was really cool. Her favorite part was the game. I couldn't believe it. Like, we had done all these other things, and she took over this tailgate party. This DJ called out her name for her birthday. Like, all these people were just treating her like royalty. It was the coolest thing. So that was her favorite part, which, I mean, I would have put money on that would have been the worst part of her trip, because that was more for daddy and mom than it was for her. But she loved every second of it. Speaking of winning over the weekend, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got our winners and losers we're going to talk about. We'll start off with our winners of week 2. Drew, who do you got for your winner of week 2? What really stood out to you? Who stood out the most, and who do you think had a great week?
So listen, my winner of week 2, you might not be writing home about this come the end of the season, but for who it was, all right, it was a big deal for them. And my winner of week 2 goes to Joe Flacco and the New York Jets. All right, Joe Flacco, came into the season expecting to be a backup quarterback, finish out his career close to his hometown. Dude, Zach Wilson goes down early, in the preseason with an injury. He's got to step in. Flacco comes in, and granted, it wasn't a very very tough opponent, but any game in the NFL is tough. He comes in and throws for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. He protected the football. He was able to produce effective drives downfield. Put his team in position to win the game. I know the Browns kind of screwed it up a little bit, but dude, for somebody who's finishing out his career and for a fan base that doesn't have a lot to get excited about lately, dude, I thought it was a big deal for Flacco to have a big day. He's a local guy. He's South Jersey guy. I'm proud of him, dude. So my winner of the week goes to Joe Flacco.
I'll tell you what, the Browns found a way to brown that game. I actually had the clips up here of his last 2 touchdown passes, and they came within the final 2 minutes. Like, when you look at this, I believe the first one, we'll just bring it up right now. It's 30-17. Flacco drops back, blown coverage, hits Corey Davis. I think it was like 60 some odd yards, hits him right there. But they have 2 timeouts, and then they end up getting an onside kick. And then he goes down there, and then 25 seconds left, just throws a dime right there. Yeah. And all they got to do is kick the extra point to win, and that's exactly what they did. Flacco brings them back, and the New York Football Jets win against the Cleveland Browns. And look at these guys; they are pissed off.
How do we find these ways to lose these games? And not for nothing, you touched on it. How often in the NFL do you recover with all the rules? Do you recover an onside kick? It's not very common anymore, So for them to be able to orchestrate such a comeback was pretty awesome. Fun game to watch. There was a lot of fun games out there this weekend. But like I said, man, Joe Flacco just proven that, he might not go down as the greatest quarterback in history, but he's certainly not the worst. And he's effective, and he was effective this weekend.
People forget he's got a Super Bowl ring, and I hate how he got it because it was against my squad. But he's got it. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He knows what it takes to get it done. I just don't think he's been in a really good situation. And he comes in as a backup veteran guy, goes down there and does that. If he keeps that up, they might hold out Wilson. An extra game or 2. I was
thinking the same thing. If they're if they can string together 2 or 3 wins maybe before Wilson comes back.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You got to go with the hot hand.
I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see them rushing him back for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, can't do that. Slick. We had a big week. What do you got? Who was one of your winners for week 2? What stood out to you?
So the Dolphins and the Ravens game, it was real similar to the game we were just talking about between the Jets and the Browns. I had originally picked the Ravens, but Tua, Waddle, and Cheetah, they made it happen. I don't know I won't even say the defensive coordinator. I'll say the secondary. The first touchdown Hill caught, he just blew past Peters. The second one, I still don't understand what was going on.
I don't get what was going on with the coverage in that game, but nonetheless, he threw for 6 touchdown passes, and that is nothing to scoff at in the NFL. I mean, you talk about 4, that's a good day. It happens, but we're talking 6 touchdowns, and he threw a couple picks. You know, he wasn't perfect in the on the day, but he was also my guy, my winner of the week, because reason being, it kind of changed my perception of him a little bit. In fact, I don't know if it's the way that his it looks because he's a lefty. It looks weird coming off his hand, but I got this video where it's kind of been circulating the internet, and I kind of messed around with one and put together a little bit of a longer clip of it's like a mirror image. So it looks like he is right-handed. And I want you guys to watch this real quick, because if you look at his release, if he was a righty, it's quick and it's smooth. So here, check this out. We're going to pull it up.
And it's grabbed by Hill.
Let's rewind that real quick.
This is funky.
Yeah, so it's weird, but it makes him look like a righty. But check this out. Watch how the ball comes out of his hand. Smooth. This whole time, it looked really weird to me as a lefty. And I grew up watching Steve Young, so I know that lefties look a little bit different, but his just looked a little wonky being a lefty. But if you keep watching some of these clips, it looks quick and it looks smooth the way that it comes out of his hand here. Look at that. I mean, it kind of changed my perception of him a little bit. Now there's nobody there, and you still got to hit those, and it sure helps that you're throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. But Slick, I know you were watching this too. Does this kind of make you look at him a little bit different after having this kind of performance against the Ravens?
Not really. I was a Tua fan in college when he was at Bama. Matter of fact, one of my fantasy leagues, he's one of my quarterbacks. This week I did bench him because they were going against the Ravens, and I thought the Ravens defense was going to basically kind of like shut him out. Now I was always okay with Tua. Like he made plays. At the end of the day, I'm one of those type guys. Like if a guy's a winner and he shows you that he can win on the high school level, college level, at a high level, and he gets to the NFL, I don't think that it just changes. I just feel like it depends on what system he's in.
Yeah.
And this is where, like, dude, I got to play devil's advocate, and I've come to grow, I've come to accept my role on this show as the devil's advocate. But I was texting my boys this weekend, even after that game, and I'm like, dude, still not sold on the guy, still not sold that he could drive the ball downfield, because a lot of those passes that he was throwing, okay, yeah, you put it in
wide
reverse,
open.
They're wide open. You put it in reverse, he's got a quick release, dude. It's not, but he throws like, I don't know. I don't see anything there that was like, holy crap, like I can't believe that, and that's amazing or whatever. But dude, I'm not sold on the guy. A lot of this, and I watched that game early on, and a lot of the stuff that he was completing, short yardage stuff, catch and carry, like, stuff like that. A lot of stuff he was missing was a little bit, the intermediate routes and stuff and those things. But anybody could have a 6 touchdown day when the defense is running around with a blindfold on. Like, I don't know what the hell some of those coverages were, but
they weren't covering.
I don't think
he's
a bad quarterback, but I'm not ready to crown the Dolphins as the king of the North here anytime soon.
Oh, no. No, I'm not saying that. But
I'm not saying you are, but a lot of people are, and that's
I'll tell you what.
I still need to see more. The jury's still out on Tua for me.
I agree. I will tell you it was enough to change my perception of him a little bit and go, okay, he's out there throwing 6 touchdown passes in the NFL, like regardless. Like you got to see it, you got to deliver it, you got to get the ball there. My thing is, what happens? We've seen the Bills the last 2 weeks now, and the NFL is the king of. I think it's the greatest reality TV that there is out there because you can't script this stuff. Well, Rick thinks you can. But what if they go out there and they beat the Bills this weekend? They're both 2-0, and they go in there. The Bills go into Miami, and Tua pulls out a win and throws for 3 touchdowns. Is that going to be what it takes? Like, what is it going to be? Like, he's going to be in the MVP conversation in September if that happens, right? Like, he's not that far off from that happening. Now, I agree with you. I still have to see it, and I think that's a long shot because I think the Bills are just in an atmosphere of their own.
Yeah.
But he's kind of showing the haters a little bit, and I'll be guilty of it because I threw up a clip earlier this year and said, "Oh, look at him. He can't get the ball to Tyreek Hill. Look at how it's underthrown. Look at all this." And he's out there throwing 6 touchdown passes. So it was enough to change my perception of him even a little bit. So in my book, he's a winner of my week.
Listen, I'm trying to blow my nose, and you're out here making comments like you're going to put Tua in the MVP race. So let's curb that so I can take care of what's going on in my digestive system, right? Or whatever it is. Don't be making comments. Don't be throwing respiratory. Don't be throwing friggin' Tua into the MVP mix. Even if they go out and beat the Bills, man. It's all relative to how it happens or how he plays or whatever. But
I get it. All I'm saying is it's early. Change my perception a little bit. If he continues that, it's a storyline.
So BP, let me ask you something.
Okay.
If when they do play the Bills, say they still lose, but what if him and Allen goes like toe for toe? Does he still get your respect?
He's got my respect. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because then I think that's what's going to be in that division. That'll be a story throughout the course of the year because the Bills have given up 17 points in the first 2 weeks, period. They've been blowing everybody out. If Tua goes in there and is able to go toe to toe with Allen, which before this season even started said, hey, why don't we just crown him MVP right now? Like, why don't we just put the Bills in the Super Bowl right now? Like that's been the hype around that team. If he goes in there and does that, and let's say they lose by a last second field goal because Josh Allen had the ball last, he's got my respect. But if he goes out and gets blown out, then it's like it's going to reverse that a little bit and be like, okay, well, the Bills are where they're at. They got a lot of work to do, and he's nowhere near Josh Allen is or Patrick Mahomes or whatever. But let's talk about our losers because there were some big-time losers this weekend. Drew, I know that you got one. Who stood out to you as just a complete loser this weekend?
A complete loser this weekend, other than my DraftKings account, would have to be. Hold on. Excuse me. That was a sneeze.
There's your digestive system.
Right? Digestive system. All right, dude. I'm not a friggin' mathematician. What do you want me to do? I don't understand how the body works. Okay, you can't tell from my figure. Anyway, one of my biggest losers of the week, the Minnesota Vikings as a whole, as a team, the Minnesota Vikings, as an organization, the Minnesota Vikings are my biggest loser of the week because while the Philadelphia Eagles are into the mix as one of the top teams in the NFC, you can't win many games when you give the number 2 running back in the league 6 carries in the entire game. He carried the ball 3 times in the first half. All right, you gave Dalvin Cook 3 rushes. He touched the ball 3 times in the first half. That's on the coaching staff. That's why I said the Minnesota Vikings as an organization. All right, Kirk Cousins comes out and lays an egg. He's throwing for under 50%, 200 yards, three interceptions on primetime television. My boy sent out a picture in the group chat earlier or like yesterday or whatever. Kirk Cousins is like 3-27 in primetime games or something crazy like that. Some crazy
it's bad.
Dude, the Vikings absolutely laid an egg on Monday night. And I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles because they came out and they did what they needed to do on national television. All right. And I think they solidified themselves in the NFC East race, if nothing else. We'll talk about that too. There's some players in the NFC East, but dude, the Vikings came out and absolutely crapped the bed, and they looked terrible, and they were never in the game. And they are my biggest loser of week 2.
It was bad. I thought that was going to be a game. I think the world of Philadelphia right now, the way that they came out and the way that they looked, I was expecting Minnesota really to put up a fight in there. And they've done this a lot in Philly, by the way. The Minnesota Vikings do not play well in Philadelphia. Then you add the layer of Kirk Cousins doesn't play well on prime time. Then you add the layer of their play calling, of not getting Dalvin Cook the ball early and often in that game. and it just mounted and mounted and mounted. I was very disappointed to see how the Vikings lost because they were my NFC North prediction to win. They go out there and they beat the Packers, and then they do this. It's like, well, who are you then?
Yeah, no, it was a very, very poor showing. Dude, you got to put a better product out there on Monday Night Football, you know?
Yeah.
For no other reason than just to be relevant. And they weren't. And it was never even a game, and it wasn't even close.
Is Adam Thielen even on this team anymore? Because it seems like he's just force feeding Justin Jefferson. I picked up Adam Thielen thinking Justin Jefferson's got all, he's going to be double teamed. Adam Thielen's going to eat. Bro, the dude didn't have a catch until like 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. And I'm just staring at my fantasy team, red in the face, all pissed off. Like, Thielen, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing?
What was their game plan when the quarterback went under 50% and their best running back? I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe maybe like Ricky said, it's a fix, dude, because it seemed fixed because I needed friggin' 10 points in my fantasy team and I had Dalvin Cook. I'm like,
oh my God, that should be a
good.
Oh my God,
these guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to be coaches at a high level. And
we're gonna go back at the end of the year and we're gonna do a yearly clip of Ricky.
Are decisions that I know for a fact, if we were in those positions, we would make better calls.
Excuse me. I'm telling you, we're going to go back and we're going to make a highlight film of all the times Ricky says the NFL is fixed, and then we're going to play it. The last
Slick. Who's your loser of the week?
Seattle.
Oh, say it again.
I'm not going to lie. Say Seattle, because like last week, the way Seattle played. And Geno Smith, the way he performed, I was kind of rooting for him. Just on some like, okay, Geno, you've been out for a while, not out of the league, but as far as being a starting quarterback, you came back, you showed, you know what I'm saying, week 1, you gave a good showing, played ball, you guys got a victory. I was like, okay, Geno might have a point. He might be trying to prove a point this year. Then week 2, I see the same Geno that we saw the last time he started. So it's like,
know and love.
Come on.
Hey, he was still 80%. He was still 80%, but he didn't like that defense is good. But let me break out my best Denny Green impression. They are who we thought they were.
Right. Can I ask you guys a question though? You talk about. And a lot of people get wrapped up in these percentages, all right. And I need to break out my calculator real quick. That's why I'm looking down. But you tell me Geno Smith is 80%, okay?
Well, he was 80% in the game.
And no, listen, it's the same thing when I've been living in freaking the Philadelphia suburbs my entire life. I heard the same thing with Carson Wentz. Oh, Carson is so efficient. He's throwing for 77%, whatever. Okay, I just figured it out. Geno Smith might have been 80%, but his average yards per completion was 7 yards. So I don't care if you're 80%. You're dropping the ball off to the running back or a receiver, and you're throwing screen passes. Anybody, I can.
That's what he did too.
There and still go out there and throw 80%.
Nickel and diamond.
Can you drive the ball vertically? Can you drive the ball downfield? Can you hit the intermediate and the deep routes?
Yep.
And he can't. And if you listen to the prophet, he said that. Remember, the prophet said
he did
last week was the Seahawks Super Bowl, and it was.
Yep.
Because they came out and, like Ricky said, it's the same.
They are who we thought they were.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. Well, my biggest loser is the Las Vegas Raiders. I am so sorry, Matt. I didn't want to do it to you like this, but how in the hell does that happen? Like, I thought the Browns game was bad. But I'm seeing clips now. By the way, I missed this game. I'm at my game, right? I catch these highlights. I go back and I watch it, and it's like, this can't be real. Because I'm watching Kyler Murray run around with the football on the 2-point conversion like he's a toddler who just stole his parents' phone and is running all over the place, and they can't catch him. So matter of fact, I got this clip here. If you don't believe me, check it out. Now just envision this man. Or boy, whatever, 5'7", whatever he is, as a little toddler that just took his parents' phone and they're trying to catch him.
He definitely like he was playing Sandlot.
Oh, hey, you're not going to get it. Nope, I'm not going to give it. Nope, not going to get it. Nope, over there. Nope. All right, Mom, you want it? Want it? Nope, no, you can't get it. I'm going to get it. Let's score. Come on, man. This play took 25 hours.
It goes back to what I'm saying about Vegas. So you're going to sit here and tell me these guys are top-notch athletes,
Ricky, bro.
and nobody can get in there and tackle him? They're getting paid millions and millions of dollars.
Oh my God.
These guys are top, like elite.
They said he ran like 80-something yards on that play.
How many people did you really see come after him, though?
What, they were
Bro, they only rushed
just coming
3.
on Mike out. They were probably
Exactly.
rushing 3.
So when he
They'll
broke
rush
the
3.
line, when he broke the line of scrimmage past the D line, where was the second level?
Well, not only that, but check this out. Who'd they bring in the offseason? Chandler Jones. Where was he on that play? Where's Max Crosby on that play? You only rush 3. At least have your 2 best pass rushers out there. Because what I saw 2 defensive tackles trying to run after him, and everybody else is in the end zone. Like it's like I get it.
Question is,
I'm
as
with
a
Ricky,
coordinator,
dude.
why would you do
NFL's
that?
fixed. It's all this crap.
Why would you do that?
I'm with Ricky, bro.
Why would you do that as a D coordinator in the NFL? Why would you do
Dude,
that?
I watched that. That game was crazy. And you know
That
me,
game
I'm
was
a
wild.
Kingsbury
It's
fan.
for entertainment. It's for DraftKings. Because let's be real, a lot of the NFL owners, if not all, has some type of partnership or some type of stock into that DraftKings stuff.
You know what?
Cliffy needed that win.
Drew, this is what we need to do. We need to have a TikTok. You know these ones that have like, tell me a conspiracy that you believe in.
Yeah.
And then play one of these clips and then have Rick
Screw
just
Area
like,
51. Screw Area 51. That ain't nothing compared to the NFL being
That's what we
fixed,
need.
according to Coach Rick. All right? We ain't talking about aliens. We're talking about
Man.
Kyler Murray converting on 2
hey,
points.
we're 26 minutes into the show. We're talking about controversies and all that stuff. I think it's time for the 2-minute drill. All right. We good? Now we good. Now we're good. All right.
We're good.
So here's all the updated news. Mike Evans' suspension of 1 game was upheld for his fight against the Saints on Sunday. He will miss this Sunday's game against the Packers. That's Tom Brady's favorite target right now. Drew, is that a pretty big deal in this matchup for this weekend?
If you saw the play, dude, there's no reason for it. Again, it goes back to the whole fighting crap. What are you trying to prove? I thought it was pretty funny that he mouthed the words, "That's Tom
It's
Brady.
Tom
What do
Brady.
you want me to
What do
do?
you
What
want
do
me
you
to
want
do?"
me to do?" But, dude, it's warranted.
Bro.
One
No, that
game's
was
fine.
crazy.
I don't think he needed any more than that. It wasn't
No,
great.
I get it. That's Tom Brady. That's my girl you're talking about. That's what I thought. The TO. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's all I thought about. Speaking of quarterbacks, Justin Herbert tore his rib cartilage in last Thursday night's game versus the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He was limited in practice today. He's considered day-to-day, but from my understanding, that's pretty painful. Slick, I know you're a big fan of Justin Herbert. I feel like this is a pretty big deal. What do you think?
I agree. It's a pretty big deal. He's questionable right now. And let's be real, he makes the offense go.
Yeah, it goes through him.
He
Absolutely.
makes the offense go. That's all I'm going to say.
For sure. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney is listed officially out for this Thursday night matchup versus the Steelers. Drew, what do you think about that? Do you think that that's a game changer for this Thursday night or no?
It might have been a game changer for like Thursday night 10 years ago, in my opinion. That's where I'm at with that. Clowney still plays, dude?
Yeah, he's still out there. He's
Yeah,
still out
he's
there.
still-
They give him a uniform, huh?
They
still
gave him one.
starts.
Still got his numbers. His dreads are getting longer,
All
right?
They give him a uniform and everything.
Yeah. Last but not least, cornerback Joe Hayden officially announced his retirement today. The corner primarily played for the Steelers and the Browns. He will sign a 1-day contract to retire a Cleveland Brown. Thought that could go either way. I think it was a pretty good corner, man. Now, Drew, rumor on the street is you've had a run-in or two with Mr. Joe Hayden there.
Listen,
Yeah,
my
on the
little boy
street.
Joe Hayden, we go up to the Rutgers University shootout. You know, I'm playing in the championship game. We got the young slinger out here with my arm cocked, rocked, and ready to go. Joe Hayden might have picked me off about 6 times in the championship game, all right? But I ain't holding no grudges. We broke bread at the Turnpike rest stop afterwards, had a little Roy Rogers, called it a day. Happy career, Joe Hayden.
That's awesome, man. Well, he was always a really good. We got the Prophet. He's knocking at the door
He's trying
right
to
now.
channel in.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah,
The Prophet's ready to profitize.
OG.
What's
Prophet
going on,
is in.
He was like channeling in. It
Prophet.
kind of froze for a couple seconds. And airwaves are
man.
crazy.
Every
right now.
week, you
His
guys
energy's
are getting
picking up, man.
better and better. It's amazing. Slinger, man, you're like the freaking postal service. It doesn't matter what conditions are. You're there to do the job.
That's how I roll, Prophet. I mean, that's what I got to do. The fans need me, okay? Like, I do it for the fans.
Hey, you had a good week. You laid
Prophet had a
down
great
some.
week.
You had a great week. You laid down some profits out there. You crushed it, man. What do you got for us this week? I got to know, because last week you looked like a genius. Of course, that's why you're named the Prophet. But I can't wait to hear what you got for us this week.
Well, BP, the gift of clairvoyancy is not for the faint of heart. Okay, and so with that being said, let me start off. Thank you, gentlemen, BP, Slinger, and Slick Rick. It's a pleasure to be here again, and we're ready to rock and roll. And it's Wednesday night. You know what that means.
I see you got your suit jacket ready to go. I know you
the
got some good
blazer
news for us
on.
tonight, man. He's got
He's
the
about
blazer
business.
on.
What happened to the hundreds on the board, though? I don't. They went into the.
Yeah, you know,
They went to the winner of the DraftKings.
No, it was an unfortunate situation. I mean, a good bad situation. My accountant tuned in last Wednesday night, and so that's a good thing. You know, we got another viewer. Bad thing is, he called me up on Thursday, and he just ripped into me. He said, "What are you trying to do? You're making my life miserable. I'm going to have to deal with audits and all. Get that money down."
All right.
So, needless to say,
OG Prophet.
Oh my god.
it's
All right. So let's talk some fantasy football. So number one, we had a winner last week. Jeff Lamb won our DraftKings challenge for the daily fantasy. $30 went to him in his account today. That's awesome. What are we looking forward to this week? Who we got that we got a must start this week, Prophet?
You guys, man, you take my thunder sometimes, but not this one. Earlier, all the talking about how bad Cousins was Monday night, and yes, he was bad. He was bad, but you got him. Get him back in your lineup this week. He's going against the terrible Detroit defense, and he's gonna rip into them guys. Joe Mixon, you got him. Get him in your lineup. As a matter of fact, get everybody from Cincinnati in your lineup this week. Sorry, Prophet. Flacco's not going to win 2 in a row. I mean, sorry, Slinger. And
Ooh, yeah, Joe Burrow's been a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, he even deleted his Twitter. He deleted his Instagram. Like, he completely got off of social media after those 2 weeks. Is this Super Bowl hangover real for him?
No.
I know you got Joe Mixon in there. You still thinking that there's some quality players over there that are going to make some noise?
Well, you know what? He's going against the Jets defense. I believe they've got 3 sacks so far this year. First 2 games, he's going against Pittsburgh and Dallas's defense, which is pretty good D's there. I think Joe's going to have a field day in New Jersey this week, and Cincinnati's going to get back on the winning track.
I like it. So Joe Mixon, start him up. You think he's gonna get in the end zone early and often?
Yeah. He may get 20 touches. He's going to probably have 100 plus a TD or 2.
I like it. What receiver you got in there that's gonna light up the scoreboard this week?
Well, going against what Slick Rick was saying earlier about Geno Smith, I'm looking at Tyler Lockett. And not because of Geno Smith, but I just think Tyler's going to have a big game this week. Seattle's got a little bit of a cupcake team coming to town. Tyler and DK could both have big games this week, but I'm leaning towards Lockett for the bigger.
Okay. They're playing against the Falcons. They're 0-2. Lockett's always getting in the end zone. I know he even against the 49er defense, he caught a couple balls out there. Obviously, Geno is looking for him. I actually think that's probably his favorite target there. I think DK is trying to get in the mix there, but I think he likes going to Lockett. I like that. Now,
What color's his hair going to be this week? Do you know, BP? DK
who, Lockett or DK?
No,
I think it's probably going to stay lime green, but he's got that pacifier in his mouth,
Okay. Yeah. Did he have Did you see that at the game?
Oh man, I didn't have those good of seats, but I'll tell you what, he's a big boy. DK is a big fella out there. He reminds me a lot of T.O., man. Now there's only one T.O., but he reminds me a lot of him. Who should we stay away from this week? Who should I, if they're in my lineup, who should I put on the bench?
Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Baker is definitely bench worthy. Baker may even end up on the real bench, during this game this week.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, he was terrible last week against the I actually thought moving to Carolina was going to be a good thing for him. I was pretty high on him, but after watching him last week, not so much.
Yeah, and he's going against a good defense this weekend in the New Orleans Saints. They still have a pass rush, and they're still going to get after it. So I like that, but I'm kind of shocked. Panthers starting 0-2. They were in the first game. They came back, and then he laid an egg this last week. So I can see where you're getting that. What running back should we sit there and put on the bench there, Prophet?
Okay, well, hey, remember last week, you guys were like kind of shocked when I gave you my running back to sit, which was Najee Harris, and it was a good sit there. Equally as good this week is big name. You got Nick Chubb. I think you put him on your bench for tomorrow night.
Oh man, you put Nick Chubb on the bench?
I'm putting Nick Chubb on the bench.
So does that mean Kareem Hunt is going to be the guy?
No, that means there's not going to be a whole lot of scoring tomorrow night. I don't think. Gosh. Going against the Steel Curtain. You guys talked a lot about that Cleveland Jets game, man, and man, I'm telling you what, I'm so unimpressed after watching the end of that game with Cleveland. Yeah, I really think they're going to come out and let down this week. They can't feel good about themselves having lost that game, and that's not one they're getting over real quick.
Well, I'll tell you, their offense was basically running through Nick Chubb last weekend. He scored 3 touchdowns. He was looking real good in my fantasy lineup this weekend. I got to imagine that the Steelers know that going in and going to try to shut him down. That's what you're prophetizing there, huh?
Yeah, and last year, I mean, Chubb went against them twice, and I believe he had like 58 and 61 yards. Both games. He didn't do real well last year against them, and I think that's going to continue this year.
Okay. Now, what wide receiver are we putting on our bench if we got him in our lineup?
All right, we're going to go from a wide receiver to another receiving position, the tight end.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is one of the young, bright tight ends in the league, but until Marcus Mariota realizes that he's on the field, I think he's got to be on your bench.
Okay.
Mariota, I watched all of the first game against the Saints, and I watched a lot of their game last week against the Rams, and he doesn't even look towards Pitts. Pitts is a big play receiver, tight end, and he's just not even looking at him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the Seahawks defense, I know we kind of joked around that, week 1 was their Super Bowl. They have some athletes on that team now. They do have some athletes on that team, and they have a really good safety in Quandre Diggs. So you're saying that he's going to kind of be taking Pitts away, and in the combination of Mariota's not even looking at him, it's just not a good matchup for him right now.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, if I should be looking for, if I'm benching Nick Chubb, I got to find somebody on the waiver wire. I need somebody, whether it's a receiver or whatever. What do we got? Who we picking up out there on this waiver wire? Who's out there?
Well, and not necessarily for this week, because I don't think it's a great week for these guys. Although the receiver not too bad. But if Raheem Mostert is in your lineup, I mean, is on your waiver wire, that's a nice pickup there in my mind. Last week, they finally got a chance to see what this kid can do. I mean, if he stays healthy, you know what? You know better than I, BP, with him and San Fran. He was averaging like 7 yards a carry or so when he was
I'll tell you what,
healthy.
Before he got hurt in, what was it, 2020, he was going to be our bell cow. And he's had knee problems. I mean, he won basically the NFC Championship game against the Packers in 2019. He had like 220 some odd yards rushing. He can get it done. And Mike McDaniel knows that. I think he's just getting him the touches. And he's fast, by the way. He's every bit as fast. And I'll say every bit as fast as Tyreek Hill. When you put that, when you put the speedometer on him, he's clocked in at 23 miles per hour carrying that ball at times. So,
and I think he had like 11 carries this week, you know, in a game where Tua threw the ball 60 times or so. You know, he had the bulk of the carries, but I don't particularly care for him this week. But he may not be there next week for you to take. So
okay,
if he's there, listening to this podcast, definitely not.
Yeah, definitely not. Do you have another one? Got another one there?
Yeah, you showed Flacco throwing that bomb to him. You know, Corey Davis. I couldn't believe it. I looked today, and he's on like 3% of the teams in the league.
Wow.
Corey Davis. He was a good receiver in Tennessee. He's still a good receiver at the Jets. He's going to get his share, whether it's Flacco or whether it's Wilson when he comes back.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike Diadamo says you're looking good, Prophet.
Looking good right there. Now, who's your lock? Who's your lock of the week, Prophet? If you're still in the Survivor, because it's been crazy. First 2 weeks have knocked a lot of people out of their Survivor pools. Who do you got? Who do you got this week? If you're still in, who's your lock?
Well, goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you got anybody from Cincinnati, play them this week. I like Cincinnati. I think they roll over the Jets this week. They got to turn it around sooner or later, and this is the week that it's going to start.
There's no way that they can go 0-3. There's just no way that they can go 0-3.
I don't believe so.
All right.
Nope.
All right. Well, hey, Prophet, I know you got a couple things that you want to say here before we get you out of there. I'll turn over the time to you. We always appreciate your knowledge, dropping knowledge bombs on us as always. OG Prophet, I'll turn it over to you real quick to get your shout outs in. And I know that you asked some people to ask you some questions in your email, so I'll turn it over to you.
Cool. Thank you, BP. The first thing is my fan appreciation segment. Guys, I watched the show back from last week, and there's just too many people that mentioned individually. Everybody was the outpour last week. I was humbled. I really was. It was great seeing all the nice things being said. Thank you very much to everybody. And Woodrow, a question you asked 2 weeks ago, how many Mrs. Prophets are there? There's only one Mrs. Prophet. I forgot to answer that for you last week, my friend. And Jeff L., great job with winning the inaugural week of the fantasy. Now, real quick, and you see my email my email address at the bottom there. You want your questions on the air. You get the emails to me by Wednesday at noontime, okay? First email comes in from a Kathy V. She asked, help me out, Prophet, please. I can only play 2, and I have Dameon Pierce, Najee Harris, and Christian McCaffrey. First off, Kathy, for you to have that running back core, kudos to you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice running back core. And me, I'm playing Dameon Pierce and Najee Harris this week. Okay. And the last one is from a Jack O. He says, Prophet, I have to play 3 receivers, and I have Tyler Boyd, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Christian Watson, and Van Jefferson. What do you
Sorry for that lineup
suggest?
there.
Yeah, right.
What do I suggest? I suggest, Jack O, that you take up another hobby like crocheting or knitting, because if you had 5 freaking draft picks at wide receiver, and that's the best that you can put out there, I'm sorry, this is not your game, buddy.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
your game.
Hey, that honestly, that was my thought though. I was like, why you couldn't get one good one in there? Like,
I know, right?
5,
All of
huh?
them are like number 2 and number 3 receivers.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what though? Maybe he's in the same league as this Kathy V, and that's why she got all the good players. Like I don't know.
That's funny.
Hey, that's good. That's good. Well, hey, as always, Prophet, we appreciate you. We got to get on making our picks. We can't wait to talk to you next week, man.
Okay, guys, great
Thanks,
show.
Prophet.
Keep it rolling.
Appreciate
Sounds
it.
good.
Hey,
Oh,
Jeff, make
man.
sure you drop your make sure you get us your Venmo account so we can get
We
that
already
over
got
to
him.
you.
We
you
already got
got
him
him?
taken care of. Yep,
Oh,
we
you
got him
squared
taken
away.
care of.
All right, I'll
Yep,
just go screw
No.
myself.
Just go. No, he's a good buddy of mine. So I saw that he won, and I was like, "Hey, man, get me your info. Let me get it over to the Prophet real quick, so he can take his money." And sure enough, he even before the show, and that's how quick it happens, guys. You win this daily
Okay,
fantasy.
and
We're
don't
getting
forget,
it to you.
$20. $20
$20
free
this
entry
week.
now.
$20
I think
bucks
Jeff
we
got
have.
30 because it carried over because Prophet won the first week, but Prophet's not
It
in
did.
it anymore. So 20
He's not
bucks
in
to
it
the winner
anymore.
now.
Yep.
It was
And
fun.
I
It's
upped
fun
it.
following along, man. It's I'm in it
It is.
myself. I'm not obviously it'll roll over if one of us win it, but I get in it myself. It's fun. We have a good time.
Absolutely. And I upped it this week. We filled that thing by Friday morning. So I upped it to 12 this week. So make
you
sure
did?
you get in there. I upped it to
All
12.
right.
I think we had 5 in there before the show. I put it out there on Facebook. We'll get it back out there on Twitter. Make sure that you get in, have your opportunity. Hey, it's a free $20, an opportunity to play fantasy football for nothing.
was-
You don't pay
it
a
filled
dime.
fast.
You're just taking
Yeah.
the
Free
Prophet's
entry.
money.
It was filled by Friday, guys and girls. So make sure you guys get in. It's a free $20, but whatever. It's fun, dude.
And not to mention, speaking of our picks, we got our pick segment coming up, but make sure that you get your picks in the pool this week here.
we got
Drew,
loose.
you had a hell of a week here.
I did. Did I win out of us 3? or
You
what?
had a hell of a week. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. We got our leaderboard here before we get in here.
Yes.
So it's a tight race with our fan group here.
Wait. Gabe Oppen went 12-4. Dude, it was a former player
12
of mine.
and 4.
Gabe
12
Oppen's a
and 4.
former player of mine, and he was. All right, I didn't realize this. And Gabe, if you're watching, dude, this is the honest to God truth. I didn't realize you went 12-4. But if anybody was going to go 12-4, I wouldn't be surprised if this kid did, because he is so knowledgeable about the NFL and stats and percentage. Dude, one of the smartest kids I've ever talked to when it comes to like football knowledge. So Gabe, that's pretty awesome. That's cool to see. One of my former players, man.
He's right up here tied for first. We have a 5-way tie at first place, 19 and 13. And then there's another 5-way tie for 6th place here with 18 and 14 in the fan pick'em. So keep those picks coming in. Remember, get them in. You don't want to miss a week. You don't want to miss Thursday night games. You don't want to drop a game just because you forgot. Make sure that you get them in. I got the link in our Facebook. Get the app. It's the Run Your Pool app. Make sure that you get it. Makes it super easy, you guys. All right. Well, let's get
Talk about
to
free
our
money, dude. It's a free $100.
free
$300 at the end of the season.
$300. All right. So here's our Thursday night matchup. We have for Lucy's New York Style Pizzeria score prediction. We got the Steelers and the Browns on Thursday night. Drew, what do you think of this game, man?
So you guys all called me crazy last week for saying take the under for the Thursday game. Did the under come in?
The under came in.
For you. The under came in. These Thursday night games, man, they're tough to play. Is this the Lucy's pick of the week, by the way?
This is Lucy's pick of the week.
Lucy's, listen, I see you promoting us on your Facebook page. If your Lucy fans are listening, follow Me, all right? I'm not going to say I'm the prophet, but I am, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I called the under was going to hit last week for the Thursday night game. I'm calling the under is going to hit this week. The Steelers are going to take it to the Browns, and it's going to be 17-3.
Ooh, okay. Super low scoring game.
17-3. Steelers take it to the Browns tomorrow night.
Okay. Slick, what do you got, man?
I think originally I picked the Browns, but I think I came back and went with the Steelers just based off the performance that the Browns showed me this past week. So I think I picked the Steelers. I could be wrong, but I think I picked the Steelers this week.
I just can't get behind Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback. Like,
I'll tell you what, man. I think you're both wrong because I'm picking the Browns. After that upset last week, they had the Jets right where they wanted them, and they blew it. You don't think that their coach is going to have their number all week long? And Nick Chubb, I'll tell you what, it's going to be. I get it. I'm just saying, short week. The Steelers. Hey, listen, I still have questions about Mitch Trubisky. I know the Steelers have some injuries on their defense. Okay. Now, I know the prophet predicted that Nick Chubb isn't going to have a game. I'm going to say I hope that he has game. One, he's on my fantasy team. I don't know if I can put Nick Chubb on the bench. I don't care if the Lord Almighty came down right now and said, put Nick Chubb on the bench. I don't know if I can do it, man, because I don't know who else I got. Back there, man. I got to go with the Browns this week. There's no way. This is a divisional game. They need this game. I think, a little bit more than the Steelers, and I think they're going to give them everything that they have in this game to show them up. I'm going to go with the Browns. Now, that's hard for me to go with the Browns because everything in my body's telling me Steelers, because I know the Steelers own the Browns, but I'm picking the Browns, and I'm going with 21-17. I do think it's a low scoring game. Not quite 20 points, but I think 21-17 the Browns pull it out.
Did we get a score from you, cuz?
No, I didn't get Drew.
We got to give a score. We got to give a score because
I might agree with your score, Drew. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't.
All right. So Ricky's got him at 17-3 as well. So me and Ricky got 17.
So I got 21-17 for my Lucy's New York style.
Take the under
for my Lucy's pick of the week. And remember, if it's not Lucy's, forget about it,
baby. Forget about it. Take the under.
Moving on. We got two teams that desperately need a win. Okay. We got the 0-2 Las Vegas Raiders that just watched a toddler run around all over the field on them. And we got a team that got the brakes beat off of them by the Buffalo Bills. This game's in Nashville. Both teams are desperate of a win. Drew, who you got?
Listen, man. All right. I cannot get behind Derek Carr. And you guys know this. I've gone off on Derek Carr a couple times so far in this show, all right? I think, coming back home, Vrabel, he's going to have these guys ready to go. Derrick Henry going to have a little coming out party. I think the Titans are going to take this one. It's going to be close because for some reason I feel like this game's going to be distant in the beginning. Titans are going to get out to maybe a 31-8 lead, and then Raiders will close it down. And I think the Titans are going to win this one, probably around 34-27. But I think the Titans get it done, man. I just can't, like I said, I can't get behind Derek Carr.
Okay, what do you got? Slick? What do you got on this game? Who do you think's pulling out their first victory in 2022? The Raiders or the Titans?
I believe I picked the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken.
You picked Tennessee, bro.
I picked Tennessee.
You picked Tennessee, bro. I'm looking at it right here.
BP, pull that
I
shit
could
up.
have.
Damn it.
I'm trying to bring them up now. I don't remember what I picked. So if I pick the Titans, then I'm going with the Titans.
I'll change it to the Raiders. You want the Raiders? I'll change it.
I go with the Titans. I'm gonna go with what I chose the first time.
Okay. You don't trust Derek Carr. Drew, Slick, you're picking with your gut on this one. You got the Titans. I'm going the Raiders in this. There's no way they can start out 0-3 in this division in the AFC West. There's no way.
There is a way. Because they're not any good.
They can just write their check right now and just say, all right, we're on to 2023. They need this game. Tennessee is going to be around in the AFC South. Okay. They don't have the sense of urgency that the Raiders do right now. Carr only got the ball to Davante Adams. I think it was just a handful of times. Okay. And they had the Arizona Cardinals on the ropes. They should have won that game, and they know they should have won that game.
Yeah, but how good is Arizona, BP?
I don't know. I don't know. It's week 2. I don't know.
Right. We haven't seen anything out of them yet.
We haven't seen anything out of them yet, but
right.
I'm going with the Raiders. They have to win this game, and I'm picking them in Tennessee. You want to know why? Hey, who does Tennessee have out there at receiver? Who they got?
Treylon Burks. Okay.
They got Robert Woods too.
They got Derrick Henry.
They got Bobby Trees. Okay, they got Bobby Trees, but they don't got Davante Adams. Okay,
I don't care.
They don't have Darren Waller. They don't have Hunter Renfro. He's not going to be letting up that ball this week.
We're doing this right now. Okay, we're going to do this. Let me find that game real quick because I'm going to read you off something that you're not going to like, cuz, and maybe I'm not. But whatever. Davante Adams. I don't care what they got if they don't have anybody to throw him the ball. Davante Adams last week, 2 catches, 12 yards. Wow.
What did Stephon Diggs do to the Titans? Let me ask you that. What did Stephon Diggs do to the Titans?
Do the Raiders have Stephon Diggs?
But they got Davante Adams.
The Raiders also, the Bills also have Josh Allen. What are you saying? Are you comparing Josh Allen to Derek Carr? Stephon Diggs had the day he had because the Bills got the quarterback they have. Come on, dude.
I mean, Stephon Diggs
get worked up like this.
Stephon Diggs was at Minnesota before he got to the Bills, and he was getting busy there with Keenum and Cousins.
With Case Keenum. Keenum.
You're still saying that Derek Carr is as capable of a quarterback as Josh Allen.
No. Just saying.
No, I'm talking about the receiver. I'm talking about the receiver. We just talked about Tua throwing balls to wide open guys. I'm saying Davante Adams can do that.
How are you getting a rock? You ain't getting a rock with the substitute QB. You're getting a rock with freaking me, Josh Allen.
I was getting a rock with a substitute QB.
Yeah, Rick, we didn't play together, cuz. Like,
I was.
Slick nose. Slick nose. All right, you guys both got the Titans.
If I was there, you would have Stephon Diggs numbers, but I wasn't.
You're right. I would have.
So you have Davante Adams numbers 2.
Hey, Slick.
12,
I was there with Drew. I had Stephon Diggs numbers. I'll tell you what. All right, I got the Raiders. You guys got the Titans.
Larry,
we'll see what happens.
I gotta watch my blood pressure. On top,
all right. Hey, this is a big game. This could be a potential playoff matchup. We got the Green Bay Packers going in to Tampa Bay. We got Tom Brady throwing tablets. We got receivers getting kicked out of games. What's going on here? Does Rodgers have enough firepower on that offense to compete with TB12 over there with all his vacations, with no kids, no wife? Is he beating Aaron Rodgers right now?
No. Rodgers ain't beating his friggin' never mind. It's a kid's show. All right. Rodgers ain't beating nothing right now. All right. Like I told you guys last week, I wouldn't be surprised if Rodgers packed it in before the season. Last week doesn't change my mind. He had a nice little game, but this is a battle of immortals here, and there's only one immortal in this game, and it's going to be Tom Brady. Buccaneers win. Buccaneers win big.
Ooh, big. Okay.
I would
what do you
say
got, Slick?
At least 12 points.
I chose the Bucs too. I don't like them. I can't stand the Bucs at all. But the Packers just haven't shown me too much of Packers football. So, I mean, yeah, you got Mike Evans out. Godwin isn't playing. I saw that they just signed Beasley. So, I mean, I feel like they still have enough to get the job done with the Packers, over the Packers.
Okay. I agree with the both of you. On this. Now, it's not because of Tom Brady, though. I think it's because of that defense that Tampa Bay has. They're going to get after Aaron Rodgers, and he doesn't have anybody to go to. Like Jeff says right here, the Pets' heads are falling off. Yes, the Pets' heads are falling off in this game, bro. They got Aaron Jones.
No food. We got no
food.
jobs.
No jobs.
Our pets'
Our
heads
pets' heads
are
are
blown
blown
off.
off. Listen, if
I
Aaron
just
Rodgers'
really
head doesn't
shocked.
come off in this game, I'm going to be shocked because they're going to be bringing the pressure. He's going to be getting frustrated. Remember, it was only a week ago that Aaron Rodgers was doing the same thing on the sideline that Tom Brady was.
Correct.
Here's the difference.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers just played the Bears, which I'm pretty sure he owns, and Tom Brady just beat a nemesis in his own division. I don't care if Mike Evans got kicked out or not. That team is more than Tom Brady. That team is more than what that offense is. That team won a Super Bowl based off of what that defense can do, and that defense is still there. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be frustrated in Tampa Bay. I think you're right, Drew. I think it's 12 or more points for sure in this game.
Thank you. Jeff, real quick, did you ever seen the poster I got hanging on my wall? Dumb and Dumber.
There it is.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our man's
Bro, I think we
everywhere.
must have watched that like 15 times in Germany. I swear to God.
It is hilarious.
Oh, finally we can talk about these guys. We got the San Francisco 49ers
I know you've been
going
waiting,
to Denver to play the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football. The 49ers coming off a big win. The Denver Broncos kind of squeaking by a team that I felt like they should have beat handily in I believe it was the Houston Texans that they played. Who you got in this one, Drew?
This one,
Oh, I can't wait.
and I never wish ill will upon anybody. What is that sound?
Mhm.
Does anybody hear sound, or is that just me?
That's just you.
There's an ad playing in my ear, and it's weird.
Did you say an ad?
Hey, I
An
never
ad.
know if you're playing or not though, because
No,
I was
I'm
waiting
being
for you to
serious.
yell in my mic. That's what I was waiting for.
Did he say an
Was
ad?
that me or you?
No, it's you.
All
Yeah, I don't hear
it's
an
gone
ad.
now, but there
I
was
don't hear
an
nothing.
ad playing in my. Okay, there was an ad
Who-
playing in my
who-
ear. Anyway,
Who you got?
yeah, I got me. Here we go. I don't wish ill will upon anybody. Trey Lance going down last week, dude. I wish him a speedy recovery. It's terrible for the Niners, but what I said all along was Jimmy G would be the starter by week 3. I didn't expect it to be that way, and
man.
I feel bad that it's that way. But it's honestly the best thing for the Niners because Jimmy G is a better quarterback than Trey Lance. And now with Jimmy G being the quarterback going forward for the rest of the year, the 49ers have got a real possibility of making some noise here in the NFC. And I think this game, Russell Wilson, I don't know, dude, I don't think I've ever seen a
He
bigger
got
waste
booed
of
last week.
He got booed off the field. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger waste of $250 million. I got the 49ers winning in this one, and it could be close, but I don't think I think the Niners win. I think they win pretty handily.
What do you got on this one, Slick?
So originally I picked the Broncos, but I
Oh.
swapped it to the 49ers. Just because- Russell, like Drew just said, Russell Wilson just hasn't been showing me Russell Wilson
Nothing.
type playing ability.
He hasn't.
And the thing about it, he has young talent around him, but he's not utilizing it. Like Sunday, I seen him miss Sutton a few times. He didn't hit Judy the way he like is. They have two backs. Their tight end is nice, is decent. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe Sierra has him like gone mentally or something. I don't know what it is, but he's not himself.
I love how we always blame the
Jeff.
spouse.
Wilson's been washed up since 2007 cause at the University of Virginia camp, if you didn't remember. But
Hey, by the way, this comes as no shock, but I've been saying this for a little while. I said this last year that, hey, Wilson is overrated. I thought that he would have an opportunity with the Broncos just because they have a better team around him, and he has not shown it so far. But I will agree with you. I was in Santa Clara, as you know. We started off the show with this. When Trey went down, normally when your starting quarterback goes down, the air just gets sucked out the stadium, and you're thinking your season's down the drain. That was not the case. Now, nobody wished Trey to get hurt. Everybody was sad about Trey getting hurt.
Sure.
I'm sad about Trey getting hurt. I want to see what he can be, and this delays his coming into
his potential.
His potential. Yeah, it delays it. It delays it, right?
Right.
But when Jimmy G came on that field, he got a huge ovation from the crowd because we know what the 49ers are with Jimmy G. He's a guy that took him to the Super Bowl. He's a guy that took him to the NFC Championship game last year. He is a better quarterback right now in week 3 than what Trey Lance was going to be. Trey Lance was drafted because of the potential of what he could be. We weren't sure what it was going to be. Right now, Jimmy G did not have a playbook all off season long. He came in 2 weeks ago with a restructured contract, and he went out there and he lit it up. He lit it up, and his teammates love that guy. I got the Niners in this game, and I think they rally around, behind Jimmy G, and I think they go on a ride as long as they can stay healthy.
I agree. And BP, I know I was texting you when you were at the game. You didn't have a great view of the injury. You thought originally it was a head injury.
I thought it was.
I informed you that he snapped his ankle and he tried to stand up on it and walk on it. Dude, you just said something that kind of irked me though, and I know I love you, and you know I love you, but you said something that kind of irked me. You said that Jimmy G is the better quarterback right now than Trey Lance. If that's the truth, why wouldn't they be playing him from the start in a business?
It's the potential what he could be. It's the potential what he could be.
Great.
Got to get those reps.
But right now, our better option of helping us win right now, which is what's important from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, is Jimmy Garoppolo. Why wouldn't they be playing him from week 1? If you just yourself, and I'll admit, you're probably the most knowledgeable person about the 49ers I ever met. Why wouldn't they be playing Jimmy G right now if he's the better option?
I'll be honest with you. When they traded to go get that pick, I think I mentioned when we got in that argument that my stomach dropped because I know what that means. That means the coaching staff and the entire front office's butts are on the line if they mess it up. What if Jimmy G goes out and wins a Super Bowl this year? What if they go deep in the playoffs this year? They're in the hell of a predicament. And by the way, it's a great predicament to be in because there's a lot of other teams that would trade for that predicament, right? The Cowboys wish they had a guy to turn to. You know, Michael Irvin saying he's Tom Brady yet Cooper Rush, but come on,
we'll talk about them in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's not jump ahead. All right.
I'll tell you what. I'm excited about Jimmy. I'm happy for the guy, and I'm going to talk about him a little bit more later on because of the type of guy that he is to withstand all this stuff. But I got the Niners in this game. We'll move on to the Cowboys here. Cowboys and the Giants, Monday Night Football. Now, raise your hand if you had the Giants being 2-0 right now, because I did not.
Me, because they have great season ticket packages and they have great kids, great things to do for the kids.
Oh my God!
And you should definitely buy. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't have them being 2-0 right now. There's a lot of surprises in the NFL. I also didn't have the Bengals being 0-2, but here we sit.
Yeah.
Yep. Who you got in this one, Drew? We got the Cowboys, who, by all intents and purposes, have really kind of owned this rivalry lately, right? And then you got the Giants, who are coming off that. It's been a long time since they've won one game and started the season 1-0. Now they're sitting here at 2-0, getting ready to play their division rivals at home at prime time. It's Daniel Jones, but it's their QB1 versus Cooper Rush. I don't know what to make of this. Drew, what do you think? Help me figure this out.
You hit the nail on the head here with talking about you don't know what to expect, out of Daniel Jones. I don't know what to expect out of Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's a QB of the Giants' future, and I don't think the Giants know that answer, quite frankly. But what I do know is that when watching the Cowboys game this past weekend, Cooper Rush didn't look like a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush looked good. All right. And, they got the win against a good, and I don't care what you say, the Bengals are 0-2. That's a good football team, man. That's a good football team. Rush went out there and did what he had to do to get the win. They're playing on prime time. I don't know how good Daniel Jones is. Everybody's saying, Saquon's back to his form. He's back to this, back to that. But did he have a game on Sunday? No. He rushed for 70 yards on 20 carries. So I think that the Cowboys are going to come out. They're going to show out on prime time, and they're going to get back into the win column again. They're going to be 2-1, and then the Giants will be 2-1. Eagles will probably win against the friggin' Commanders, and then it'll be a tight NFC East race. But I see the Cowboys coming on top on this one.
What do you got, Slick?
I got the Cowboys too. I understand that the Giants are 2-0, but like Drew said, the Rush kid, he surprised me. And what's the receiver that he kept connecting with? They were on the practice squad together. Number 85. Can't think of his name.
It's Noah Brown.
Yeah, Brown. Yeah. I think they put that together as far as the passing game. You still got Lamb. I mean, they didn't lose anybody, like as far as defensively or offensively. I mean, if Rush comes into this game with the same type of confidence that he had Sunday, I think they'll come out with a victory.
Not so fast. My Lee Corso impression here. Because I have the Giants winning this game, but it's because of a little bit of a different reason. It's not because the Cowboys aren't a good team, but it's because of a little thing called momentum. And right now, the Giants have it, and the Cowboys don't. The Cowboys don't. They lost their quarterback, and they have Cooper Rush coming in. I don't know what to expect from him. Yes, he played well last week. I just think the Giants have momentum, and right now they know they have an opportunity, and sometimes that's all you need is an opportunity to look at your rival and know that they're not as good as they might be later on in the season, and you're going to have an opportunity to take them down. And I think Monday Night Football is going to be the one. I think Brian Daboll is going to have some stuff dialed up. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to have the game of his life, but he's going to have one of the better ones.
BP,
and I think he's going to take it to the Cowboys.
BP, can I raise my hand?
Andrew,
Devil's advocate, right? You talk about momentum. You don't think that the Cowboys got momentum coming off a game that nobody gave them a chance to win with a backup quarterback like Cooper Rush, who's never even been heard of? And they went out there and they took it to the Bengals and they won the game. They're rolling in. They're saying, hey, the Eagles are playing well, but this isn't their division to run away with. Cowboys got something to prove, and they're on primetime television. All right? Jerry's not going to let it happen.
I'll tell you what, there's some strange stuff that happens in the Meadowlands. And I would love to talk about this next week and see what happens, because I just got a gut feeling about these New York Giants, not for the whole season, but I think right now, like, they're starting off hot. And I mean, they've won already a couple games that nobody expected them to win. They're playing with house money right now. They're sitting, 1-1 or 0-2 right now, and they're sitting there like, we haven't lost yet. Okay, let's just go. And they're playing with house money right now, and I like it. So, you know what that means? That's our last pick right now, and we got our hot shots. Get your picks in.
Quiz hot shot.
All right, we got our hot shot of the week coming up. And listen, there's no secret here. I got that logo on in the back. I got this hat on. I got my Jimmy Garoppolo shirt on, and I got my Jimmy Garoppolo bobblehead right here. Is my hot shot of the week. This guy not only made $16 million this last week. He went from $6 to $16 million when Trey Lance broke his leg. Now, I don't root for that on anybody, but this guy who everybody was saying, get out of San Fran, get traded. How about you go practice on this side field? How about this? How about you restructure your contract? How about you back up the rookie that we got to take your spot? I sound like you a couple weeks ago, Drew, but this guy stood here and he took it. And I will tell you what, he was asked in the media this week when do you think about you, Jimmy? Like, so at some point you got to think about you. And he goes, it's never about me. It's about winning football games. And I can get behind anybody that is about winning football games. So Jimmy G, you know what? You are my hot shot of the week this week, cuz I got you, man. And here's to hopefully a lot more victories this year.
Did I just hear a cuz in there?
Yeah, you heard it.
I had my
cuz I'm rubbing off on you.
You're rubbing off on me, man.
You're right. Jimmy G said it's about winning. It's about the team. It should always be about winning. That's why I should have been the quarterback from week 1. So I'm with you, man. Take that shot. Matter of fact, take another shot for me, but that ain't my hot shot of the week. My hot shot of the week comes from.
Is it
and I
you?
think can
Is
pull
it you?
up. No, it ain't me. This
Are you not
week.
the hot shot of the week?
It
All
ain't
right,
me this week, but that was
I'm
pretty
not
good.
drinking anything right now.
All right, what you got on
look
this,
at
Drew?
Look at this photo, man. Tell me which one is the NFL player. I don't think you could do it.
I
right,
would
the
guess.
NFL I'll
would
tell
guess the
you,
guy on the left. This guy right here in the ball head, the old guy.
The NFL player is the one in the blue little blazer here. All right,
Oh.
my hot shot of the week. Yeah, my hot shot of the week goes to the Philadelphia Eagles punt returner, Britton Covey. All right, it's a funny story. He was on the practice squad. He's a punt returner. He was on the practice squad for the Eagles. He got called up from the practice squad, I think a couple hours before the game. Drives to the game. He doesn't have the right credentials to park in the players' parking lot. The security guards don't let him in. They say you got to park down there with everybody else. My man parks in the tailgate lot with the fans and walks through the tailgate to get to the stadium and goes out. Dude, he had a modest game. It was like 3 returns, so like 14 yards. He didn't do a whole lot. But my man walked through the tailgate lot of the Eagles, taking pictures with fans who recognized him, stuff like that, because he didn't have the right credentials to get into the players' lot. My hot shit of the week goes to Britton Covey, not because of that, but because of what he said in the interview afterwards. He says he's going to keep parking in the tailgate lot because it keeps things into perspective for him, because he's not that far removed from being that 13-year-old kid throwing the football at a tailgate with dreams and aspirations one day of playing in an NFL stadium, man. And I can get behind that. So my hot shot of the week goes to Britton Covey from the Eagles. Is he going to be on the active roster this week? Who knows, man? But he got my respect for the week. Cheers to you, bro.
That's awesome, man. That's a good one. You know, he does look like he might be knocking on somebody's door out here in Idaho, you know, from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints right there. Look at him right there. Yeah, he probably is.
He played at Utah.
Probably is. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Slick, who you got, man? Who is your hot shot of the week?
We talked about it a little earlier. My hot shot of the week goes to my high school team that I coached with. The win that we put together this Friday, like I said, that was a big win for the kids, the coaching staff, and the program in general, and the city. So that's who my hot shot of the week goes to.
Cheers.
That's awesome, man. Good. That's a good win. That's a really good win right there. Matter of fact, I got to bring this up real quick. Forgot to do that. Drew, you made a comeback this last week. Ricky, you need a big week this week. 13-19 right there. But you know what? You know, you guys are just staring at my back because I got a 2-game lead right there. So
Yeah, but-
those are our picks.
Yeah, but you're way down there in the leaderboard, man, because we got guys way ahead of you, right?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Just one. But this is going to be a big week because I got 4 differences from you guys right here. But it is time. That means we are getting out of here, man. What a week! I didn't think my orthopedic shoes would help me, but I stand corrected. Drew, you kill me, man. All right, same time.
Make sure you get your
Same
picks
channel
in.
next week. Get your
Make
picks in. Make sure you hit that
Make
subscribe
sure you
button.
get your DraftKings in. $23 to the winner. Tune in next week.